Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and welcome back to another segment of What's in the Bag, Jay? Now, this is the segment where I pick 6 movies from my collection that I haven't seen, write their names on a piece of paper, throw them in the bag, draw one out at random, and do a short review. Now, it's very important that you guys vote for your favorites. That way they come back into the drawing next week. And speaking of, back in the drawing this week, Left in Darkness with 3 votes. Flight of the Living Dead, Outbreak on a Plane with, I think, 5 votes. Trench 11 with 3 votes. And Raptor. And I can't remember how many votes that had. But making its debut this weekend, I had someone, Jay Super Awesome, asked me if I would do a review for this, so I'm throwing it in the mix. It is Jolly Roger, Massacre at Cutter's Cove. And number 6 is The Pact. Now, this is a bloody, disgusting film. Now, I'm going to take the pieces of paper, throw them in the bag, while I implore you guys to vote for your favorites. Vote for 1, vote for 2, vote for all 6, doesn't really matter. 3 or more votes, actually, gets it put back into next week's drawing, where it can be chosen again. Now, this is where I give the bag a good tussle. Reach my hand in the bag. Grab one. And this one is Jolly Roger, Massacre at Cutter's Cove. Now, this is an asylum film. Seems like a slasher. So this should be right up my alley. I will be back shortly with my thoughts on the film. Later. Well, I'm back. I just watched Jolly Roger, and here are my thoughts. Now, Jolly Roger is a 2005 film, which runs 80 minutes, and is written and directed by Gary Jones. Now, I looked him up, and some of his other movies are Boogeyman 3, which I actually quite liked. Crocodile 2, Death Swamp. Now, I've seen the first one. I haven't seen the second one. Axe Giant, The Wrath of Paul Bunyan. Now, this is one I watched on Netflix. It's probably been a couple years ago, I would imagine. But I thought it was fun. It was just a silly, fun popcorn slasher. Ghouls, which I know I DVR'd. I don't know if I kept it or not. And I don't believe I've seen it. Spiders and Mosquito. Now, as I said before, this is an asylum film. This stars Rhett Giles as Jolly Roger. Now, you can see him a little bit on the cover here. I thought the makeup overall on Jolly Roger was pretty good. It wasn't too bad. Now, Rhett Giles was in Wolfsbane, which was a TV movie, which I also have, but have never seen. Dracula's Curse, which I believe is another asylum film. And King of the Lost World, which, again, I believe is another asylum film. Now, this stars Tom Nagel as Alex. To me, he was the bright spot of the film. He's a pretty good actor. He was in Clowntown, which I actually really enjoyed. I don't understand why it gets the hate it gets. I mean, it wasn't a masterpiece or anything, but I thought it was pretty good. He was in The Butcher, which I do own but haven't seen, and Dracula's Curse, once again. Okay, now we have Christina Korn, who plays Jessie. Now, I looked her up, and she had only done some shorts, which is really not surprising. Now, she was attractive enough. Her acting was, okay. But part of being a scream queen or a quote-unquote final girl, not really trying to spoil anything, but is the ability to scream. And, yeah, she really didn't have that talent. Her scream was annoying and awkward. So I'm not really sure what they were thinking there, but yeah. Anyway, a brief synopsis. A bunch of teenagers are partying. I believe they just got out of high school and are, looking towards college. There's 6 of them. And they are partying on Cutter's Cove, where 2 who kind of go down the beach to be alone to, of course, have sex, find a treasure chest. They open the treasure chest. Of course, he cuts his hand on it. Typical slasher supernatural lore. Spills blood on it, and she picks up a skull that's inside the treasure chest and throws it in the water, and up pops Jolly Roger. Of course, he dispatches the teens, except for 2 of them, which end up being the final guy and final girl, and goes through the town, methodically carving out all of the townspeople. There is a reason for his killing, but I'm not going to give that one away. Now, this movie was made for $500,000. And one of the things I thought was pretty interesting was in the credits at the very end, they kind of had a little bit of fun with it, I think, and said that no animals, strippers, or pirates were harmed due to the making of this film, which I thought was kind of cute. Now, what did I think of this film? It's not bad. It's a silly, supernatural slasher, kind of in the vein of Leprechaun, also kind of in the vein of Nightmare on Elm Street, of course, with a shoestring budget. But I didn't think it was that bad. The one major drawback, well, there were 2 actually major drawbacks, were the acting, except for Tom Nagel. And the other one is CGI blood. I am not a fan of it. I love practical effects. So whenever CGI blood comes up, even if it looks good, it kind of takes me out of it. Now, do I recommend this film? If you are a slasher enthusiast, I think you'll probably get some enjoyment out of this. If not, I would kind of stay away from it. I liked it. I thought it was a fun popcorn flick. And I was actually surprised, because my wife watched it with me, that she kind of liked it too. But I think she kind of liked it because of its silliness, a la Leprechaun and Nightmare on Elm Street. And Jolly Roger kind of cracked one-liners, and there were some really silly, awkward moments in the film that I kind of had fun with, and so did my wife. But like I said, if you're a slasher enthusiast, check this one out. If not, might not be your cup of tea. And it is extremely low budget. So, make sure you guys vote again for your favorites to come back next week. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.